Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and finally you guys can stop yelling at us. We're going to work on Dad's Daily. So I've been trying to get some other projects kind of situated in the shop before we jumped into this one. And we have a lot of those loose ends buttoned up, so we are ready. This engine that we got earlier, maybe a month or so ago, is pretty much the perfect candidate. It was out of a running driving car that was, taken out not that long ago, and it's something that's pretty much guaranteed good that we can run in the car. So we can pretty much toss it right in. This was out of a street rod that was built, not driven a ton, and we're pretty confident we can just toss this thing in. I cleaned a couple things up already. We're gonna do some gaskets once it's back in, but anything major on this thing should be okay. The biggest thing we have to take care of is this engine has, first we have to take care of is, this engine has a front sump pan on it, because this was in a 32 Ford, where that was not an issue. This car it's going in is a 47 Ford that has a different type of steering and has a cross steering where that's actually going to run into it. So we need to put a rear sump pan, which was on our other engine that Carl had put on it years ago when he had first gotten that car going. So I got the other pan off, got it all cleaned up. We're going to grab the gaskets, change that first because we may not be able to change that after the engine's in the car. And then we're going to try and get this thing slid in and see what it looks like in Dad's Daily all mounted up.
Wouldn't that suck if we pull this plug out and nothing happens again?
See what kind of sludge comes out of here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not good. Don't say that. That happens when we put a flat back in.
Yeah, right?
Not with a small block Ford.
It's definitely getting a flatty. Oh no, look at that nice dirty oil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that. Loosen it up.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Coming at you, you got it.
That's nice oil in that thing. All right, let's take a look. We got all the gasket cleaned off. The oil looked pretty clean. We're just gonna see if we can see anything under here for.
Looks nice. It's not sludgy.
No, I don't see any.
Timing chain looks good. Timing chain is nice, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's nice and tight.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Fords come stamped from the factory, the rods and stuff. But
Yeah, I see they're all
Yeah.
stamped, caps and everything. I don't see anything alarming this time. Not all
Nope.
sludged up and scary.
Nope. That's
Cool.
looking good.
All right. Take our Mr. Gasket one-piece seal we got here from, this is our other pickup tube we have to use here for the other style sump. And then Mr. Gasket and Holly hooked us up with a bunch of parts. This is one of them. They use this nice one-piece reinforced gasket, so that's always nice. So we're gonna throw this guy on, and then we'll put the cleaned up pan in that I already cleaned up, and be on our way to getting the oil pan on and sliding this sucker in. Sometimes it's the little things in life. We were looking at this oil pan gasket from Mr. Gasket, and I know a lot of you guys will be like, oh, that's stupid, but it comes with these little tabs, or these little studs, plastic studs that thread in to the block, and then it will hold the gasket in place so it doesn't fall off as you're trying to mount the pan. I mean, this is like genius. And there's multi-piece ones, gaskets that come in the full kits, they don't have any of this, so it's totally worth it to buy one of these seals to have these, just for not having the nightmare when you're putting it all together. So thank you, Mr. Gasket, that's awesome. I feel like we're cheating. This is like cheating, my God.
I'll take
You
it.
need like 6 people and
Yeah.
a small child. You need that scraper. Oh, you know what? I don't think I did.
think this goes over on this side. Yeah.
Okay. You should be able to clip that right over.
Yeah, it should slip right over there. There we go. Oh yeah, now we got it.
Just get mine.
You good there?
Yep.
Nice.
Oop.
That's cool. The studs will hold it there. Where's that equals?
We want to aim
Yeah.
center the. Yeah, turn hard to that way. Once we get in, we can always use the jack. Close the door. All right, so we got the car in, and it's pretty much lined up with our I-beam here. We're going to use the I-beam, my old school chain fall that gets used like every day, just about. And we cut the exhaust off just at the X member there because we're going to probably be building. We are going to be building new exhaust, not probably. So we have the engine mounts. This uses, as a reminder, this uses like Hurst conversion mounts. So these ones we had to swap. This engine had a set that were mounted back in here somewhere because it was on a 32 Ford, and it probably just had tabs that came off the side of the frame. This utilizes the stock 46.8 front mounts. So we have these mounts that were in the car that were basically brand new, and we swapped them over to this, and luckily nothing really interfered. All I had to do is this little spacer they had here for the alternator. I had to turn it down a little bit because of the thickness of this bracket. Just put it on the lathe, no big deal. And all the stuff that was on it pretty much mounts up. Special interest point is Jeff, that helps out in the shop once a week. He one day, because we knew we were going to be doing this, he wire wheeled and cleaned up the frame rails here in the engine bay area, and then sprayed it with some Eastwood rust encapsulator and some chassis black, so that's at least coated and looks decent and isn't going to rust. And the only thing we have to do is we just have a bar in the back for the trans mount, quotations, trans mount right now, because the one that was in there was really cobbled together, and we're not quite sure that this car, that the pinion angle was, or the output shaft angle was correct. So I need to build a new one either way, so we need to, so we need to set this in here, and then we're gonna have to check all that and make it, but we can't do it without the engine being in there, so that's our complication. So we're gonna get this thing slid in here, and at least sitting in and looking kind of cool. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, we'll see.
The marriage.
Down, right?
Yep.
That strap.
Yep. Well, we can put the jack under the tail shaft of the trans and pull that strap off. I think it's, yeah, that's true. That's what we're gonna have to do. You're right.
Well, we're pretty close. We might be able to.
There it goes.
No, it just went right where we wanted to go.
Yep.
All right, hold on. I
Good.
can get this bolt on. Just kind of floated where we wanted. It's funny, this is actually kind of a routine for holidays. I actually usually work on
Right.
The morning of holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Ain't no sense in wasting a whole day.
itself. It's either in the morning or when we get back.
Yeah.
Or a little bit by myself, so.
I don't
I
know if
wasn't
you need
planning.
that washer there or not. It just seemed like a good idea.
It looks like it's supposed to be there. A few threads.
I think we're good on this side too.
Looks nice in there.
Yeah, it does. For not being a flathead, it's not too bad, huh?
Yeah. Nostalgic into the gym, but we'll live with that. Ready? There we go. Okay, a couple. It ain't pretty, but it'll work. All right, so we've been doing a bunch of work. I got back from my quick little trip, and Steve's been working away in the car. And I'll show you what we've been working on, and we're just about ready to fire this thing. So I got a trans mount in, a very simple trans mount, just a piece that I bent up that we had a couple shots of with some rubber mounts. That all cleared. The problem we were having is the stock mount they had was super long, and the studs actually were sticking down between when we were setting. What we realized is when we set the engine up and jacked the output shaft of the trans, it set the angle. It was like way off where they had it sitting. They must have had the engine sitting up, and it was like almost running uphill, which was not good. So we got that sitting right, but what it did is it put the studs like right between the wishbone here and was going to be like hitting. So I used some shorter rubber mounts and I bent up a piece here, real simple, welded that in, that's all good. And I was a dummy and threw away the exhaust manifolds that were on this, because I'm like, we won't need these. We got these shiny headers that Dad had to have. Well, shiny headers don't fit, and they were smashing into the exhaust, or I'm sorry, into the steering box, which was not gonna work. And so I got somebody donated a set of exhaust manifolds after my dumb self threw away the other ones, scrapped them, and they aren't quite the right ones. So we're gonna have to get a correct left side mount, because what's happening is this one here, whatever it was off of originally, is running right in the steering box, and we need it to shoot backwards. So we need like a 65-8 style Mustang 289-302 exhaust manifold. The passenger side works out well, but we'll show you the engine here. All the stuff we got buttoned up, and let that down. So you can see we have this Eastwood tri-flow radiator in here, and we got the Durali, I think is the brand, trans cooler that Steve got all hooked up with the lines. The hard lines we could reuse that were on the engine that Carl had on there back in the day, and we ran some rubber lines up. So that's all good. Steve made a nice little bracket for that. We had a belt, luckily, in stock. We have a crap ton of belts, like I said, I bought. There's some way back there. We bought it, I bought it at auction and had laying around. That worked out perfect, and with the alternator and all that stuff, worked out really nice. We have store Warner gauges that we're using on this car, and Steve already hooked up some of the sensors and stuff for that. You can see there. He's got an oil pressure gauge just set up for us to test it. When we fire it, had to make a little adapter down here to get the oil pressure sender for these newer style gauges to fit in there, because it's an electric gauge and not a mechanical gauge. Changed over to the shorty filter. There was the long one on here, and it was like jammed against the frame rail, so I swapped out to that oil filter. But you can see this exhaust manifold, that's the problem. So what we're gonna do, just for our small victory at the end of videos, we're gonna try and get this thing to run with just these manifolds, open manifolds for now, and then within a week or so I should be able to get a correct left side manifold, and then we can run the exhaust back and basically hook it up how Carl had it before, and we should be good to go. But Steve's got pretty much everything hooked up. We still got the carb that was on it when we got it, which is fine for now. We have some a new Holley carb and a Wyand exhaust manifold, or intake manifold we will be hooking up, but baby steps. So that's where we're at, and we'll put some oil in this thing and see if we can get it to just make a little bit of noise, just pouring some fuel down it. All right, let's give her a try, see if we can get it to crank over and maybe get spark, and we'll see if we maybe get some oil pressure then too. We're just, before we even hook the fuel up, just get her spark and all that stuff going. We just got it rigged for now. Gauge is going up. Cool, so we got oil pressure. Step one. It was tricking us for a minute there. It wasn't moving. I'm like, what the heck? But we had just put oil inside to fill all the passages. All right, cool. Now we gotta get spark, and then we add fuel and go boom.
Don't even tape it.
Yeah. All right.
Ready?
So you gonna work the throttle?
Yeah, I'll
hit the start. Yeah, hit the box on. So that ignition power. Ready?
Yep.
You want to give it a few squirts?
Well, let me do this too.
Do you want to keep the choke open? You don't want to choke it at all?
Nope.
Hearing anything?
There it goes.
Ready?
Ready when you are. Go ahead.
Oh, a longer screwdriver? Or you...
Nah, that's good. Go ahead, give it a shot.
All right. We learned lots today.
We did. We did.
Hey, it broke our decrepit old belt.
I hope there was a mark on that, because who knows what length it is now.
Oh no, I don't know if there is, honestly. Oh wait, yeah. I think there is barely stamped in it.
Yep.
All right,
We
ready?
had oil pressure, yep. Still pushing gas. Yeah, we're still pushing gas.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We just shut.
I saw a spark, a flame.
Yeah.
Ready again?
Yep.
Is that choke that's fighting you?
Yeah, it's not, I think it needs to open up a little more. Go ahead. Yeah, it's flooded now.
Oh, you think we flooded it?
Yeah, yep.
Ha
Go ahead.
Maybe it needs more fuel than you think it.
I think that's the issue.
We're being
I'm
conservative.
being too, yeah.
That sounded pretty good.
It sounds good, but we also have an open manifold, so everything sounds
Dad
cool.
needs no exhaust.
That sounds awesome. Needs more fuel.
Yeah.
You think that bowl's empty?
I don't think it's empty. I just think the thing hasn't run for so long. It's just.
Engine's cold, yeah.
Yep.
We were being conservative, like
Yeah.
2 little squirts.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that sounds awesome. As soon as you spray some in, it fires right
Yeah.
up. I can't believe it would empty that bowl already.
I know. I don't think it did.
It's probably, like I said, it's probably just cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not picking up fuel.
Sounded awesome.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yep. Oil pressure come right up.
All right, so we just need a couple more little things, and we can
Yep.
make it run for real.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel tank hookup will be the next.
Yeah.
thing. All right, so after a bunch of tinkering and chasing our tails, like always happens when you're trying to first get an engine to fire again, we got it to fire, make noise, got a couple of manly revs out of it, which was pretty cool. And yeah, so the engine lives, which is really great, sounds awesome. And now we just got to basically continue buttoning things up. Like I talk about in our videos a lot, we like to do things like this that I call the small victories, because it helps you kind of gets you to the next spot of the build. And usually there's a lot of like things that are not exciting to do as you work along the project. So if you have these little goals, it just kind of makes you excited and it gets you through the next step. So next step is we have to hook up a couple of things. The gas tank's basically all hooked up. We had to get a hose, which we just got, like really in between trying to fire this. For the filler neck, I got some fuel hose so we can hook the filler neck up, which means we can put fuel in the gas tank and we can run the electric fuel pump to get fuel to the engine, which we can then fire it and run it. We were having problems with the battery. Our test battery we have is extremely on the dead side because I used it for the test stand, the winch, everything else. That battery gets beat, so it needs to charge. We can work on running proper battery cables, all that stuff. So we're going to work on that in the background, and then hopefully in the next video we will have the proper exhaust manifolds, the exhaust hooked back up, fuel tank hooked back up, the battery in, and the cooling system all hooked up. Then we could start the thing, run it, but now we know it has good oil pressure, it starts and runs okay. We can take it to the next step and we feel confident that we're not going to do all that work and then the engine doesn't even run. So yeah, really psyched about that. It's awesome. And Dad will hopefully have a car to rip around in the spring, but we're hoping that we can drive it a little bit before he even gets home so we can have some fun in it before he does. Maybe in some like wintertime snow donuts. I don't know, we'll see. Thank you guys for watching, appreciate it. Big, huge victory today for Dad's Daily. Thanks, catch you later.